together to make this happen. It almost looks easy, but everybody particularly on the Oversight and Investigation Subcommittee, Mr. Stupak and everybody else, we will attest that it was difficult because when we started this effort 7 years ago, we had a food safety system in disarray, and it had been in disarray for many years, and it continued in disarray. Story after story, recall after recall. And in those days, it was difficult for us to even convince people that we needed mandatory recall authority for the Food and Drug Administration, much less traceability and some of the other components that are here in this comprehensive bill today. And so it really has been an extraordinary team effort. And that team effort has been directed at one goal: protecting the safety and health of our constituents. We hope that this bill today will give the resources and the powers to the Food and Drug Administration to be able to protect that health and safety, and if there are problems with our food system, to make sure that we can address those problems quickly. That's why I'm particularly pleased that the chairman has worked with me and others to include mandatory recall authority by the FDA in the bill. We hope that we'll be able to catch contamination and avoid contamination before it happens, but if there is contaminated food found, we'll be able to have recall authority. And secondly, I'm so delighted that the FDA will be implementing traceability systems for the entire food agency. We saw this last year with the tomato and then jalapeno recall, where we never really could figure out what was wrong with this salsa. But what we did know was people across the country were being sickened. And what we also knew was that the entire tomato industry was devastated for that year. So traceability is going to help us identify quickly and remove the foods in a targeted way that are causing sickness. I just want to say one last thing. And that is, I have a staff member to thank who's here today, Steve Plevniak. Steve is my food safety maven on my staff. He's been with me for 7 years, just about as long as we've been studying these issues. And he's leaving us to go elsewhere. So this is a fine end for his congressional career. And I just really want to thank Steve and all the staff of the whole committee who have worked so hard on this legislation. And with that, I will now recognize, let's see, who's next? The gentleman from Nebraska.
Thank you. Very quickly, I want to